Lake Shawnee Amusement Park in Mercer County, West Virginia is a site with a deep history that dates back long before it became an amusement park. Before the amusement park was established, the land was the site of a violent conflict between European settlers and the indigenous. In the late 18th century, the Clay family, who were among the first settlers in the area, were attacked by the indigenous, leading to the deaths of several family members. The tragic event is often cited as the beginning of the land's troubled history.
Mitchell Clay was the first English settler of Mercer County. He lived on this land. Two of his kids were massacred here. One was taken to Ohio, burned at the stakes. The chief lends him a horse to bring his child back, and they're all three buried on the other side of the park over there.
The most well-known stories are that of the Clay family's brutal slaying by indigenous people of the area and the subsequent vengeance Mitchell Clay rained down on them. After this happened, Mitchell Clay left and never returned to that homestead, leaving it empty for many years.
The amusement park was first opened by Conley Snidow. He ran it from 1926 to 1966.
Conley T. Snidow purchased the land and transformed it into Lake Shawnee Amusement Park. The park opened and was a popular location. Also, the swimming pool and paddle boats were popular, but also were rumored to have contributed to some of the accidents that led to the closure of the park. There is tale of a boy who drowned in the pond.
The mother drops her son off that morning. She returns in time for the lifeguard to blow the 5 o'clock whistle. Her son's nowhere to be found. She thinks he walked home. She goes to the house, he's not there. She comes back to Lake Shawnee. They find him at 7 p.m. that night in the bottom of the pond with his arm stuck in a drain pipe.
Many unfortunate accidents may have occurred throughout its years as an amusement park. The swing ride was another favorite, especially among children. It consisted of several swings that would rotate around a central tower. Tragically, this ride is associated with one of the park's most infamous accidents, where a young girl reportedly died after being struck by a delivery truck while riding it, and 2 twin boys fell out of the Ferris wheel from the top of the ride and plummeted to their deaths.
So one of the stories is about a little girl that was riding on the swing. As the swing's going around, a soda delivery truck's delivering soda to the concession stand. Whenever it goes to leave, it backs up into the path of the swing. The little girl hits the back of the truck and it kills her.
The land was thought to be cursed after Mitchell Clay's family was slaughtered, prompting him to go on a murderous rampage against any and all indigenous people he could find in the area. This set the course for ghost stories to flourish, but with several reported accidents and deaths occurring on the premises, by 1966 the park was closed.
So whenever the park was open from 26 to 66, my father worked here. Whenever it closed in 66, his dream was to buy Lake Shawnee. So we all pitched in together. We could buy Lake Shawnee, open it back up, and we opened it up in 1985. The way we found the burial grounds, we was doing some bulldozing to move the mud bog. And whenever we was bulldozing, we started finding arrowheads, pottery, Native American stuff. So that's when my father calls Marshall University. The archaeologists come in from Marshall University in 1990. That's when we found the burial grounds. They was here for 2 years. They dug in 1990 and 1991. They uncovered 13 bodies. So after they're done, they ran out of funding, so they didn't have funding anymore. They covered the bodies back over. They're estimating over 3,000 bodies in that field based on how long they lived here. According to the archaeologists, we know that the Native Americans lived here beginning in the woodland period. The woodland period started prehistoric, and they lived here all the way up to the 1700s.
During its operational years, Lake Shawnee Amusement Park featured several popular attractions that drew crowds from the surrounding area. The Ferris wheel was one of the park's most iconic attractions and still stands today, though it is rusted and overgrown, contributing to the park's eerie atmosphere.
I think there's strange things that happen in the park that's hard to explain. Whenever the right people come in, things might happen a little bit different. So I'm talking about people that might have abilities.
Eerie history and tragic past have made it a focal point of local folklore and paranormal interest in the Appalachian region. Its reputation as a haunted site has grown over the years, attracting ghost hunters, paranormal enthusiasts, and tourists curious about the park's dark legacy. The park's now abandoned, but it remains a powerful symbol of the region's complex history, where the joys of community life and the shadow of past tragedies coexist. Although Lake Shawnee Amusement Park operated for only a few decades, its legacy endures as a significant and haunting part of Appalachian history. The stories of the park's tragic past and the supernatural tales that followed have solidified its place in the region's cultural folklore.